What's going on, guys? Be right back. 1 second. Hello.
A new flash flood warning.
Flash flood warning. Huh? Dallas, DFW, probably. Yep. There it is. There she is. There she is. Let's take a look at the local radar here. It's a lot of water. Let's go. Live shot. There we go. That's a lot of water. All right, we'll get started here in a second. We will get started here in just a moment. Just a moment. I'll let some more people hop in here. I'm gonna stream for about an hour, maybe a little bit less, because I plan on getting back on stream later tonight. So this will be more of a quick update. Bryce, what's going on? I tried to update everyone yesterday and let everyone know that I wasn't gonna be on streaming, but I was at the State Fair in Minnesota, and there's so many people there that your phones just like don't work. So I kept trying to post onto my Discord and on my Instagram that I wouldn't be on, and I couldn't get any service. Tufts, what's going on? Our cold is definitely confirming. We're about to see some craziness. What's our latest GFS saying? Our 12Z GFS is out, actually. Let's see. Oh my gosh, and it doesn't stop. Wow, the GFS has it staying freezing through most of the east. Or not freezing, but you know what I mean. Well below average through most of the east. All the way through like September 10th. Craziness. Let's look at these anomalies up close, actually. Let's go to central US. Central. This is going to be definitely a record-breaking fall, not just for cold temperatures, but for warm temperatures out west, unfortunately for them. Yeah, let's look at this. Let's look at GFS. Euro has similar stuff. Yeah, GFS, we're talking widespread 20 to 25 degrees below average. Out here, September 3rd, September 4th, and that's pushing down into the southeast. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And then a second round of it too, which is crazy. Look at this. This is 30 degrees below average through Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois. Euro, sorry if you hear screaming in the background. I was trying to get on the stream earlier. Oh, do you guys like my hat? Let me know. Chat, let me know if you like my hat. Do you guys like my hat? Yeah, I know. College football's on. That's why I'm like, I also got to go watch college football. World champion Glizzy Guzzler. Glizzy Guzzler. Glizzy Guzzler. Glizzy Guzzler. Say that 3 times fast. Glizzy Guzzler. Listen, I saw it at the fair, and, you know, I had no choice. I had to get it. How are you not going to get a hat that says World Champion Glizzy Guzzler? You know what I mean? You all would have done the same thing. Let me set up my camera back here. Let's get this bad boy set up back here for later. Every single person in this chat would have gotten this hat as well, I believe. All right. 100%. What's a glizzy? Oh, no. Can someone explain to chocolate potato chips what a glizzy is? I will say, my stepdad and my mother-in-law both said the same thing. They're like, what's a glizzy? I think it's a generation. It's a younger generation thing. Older generations don't call it a glizzy. Chocolate potato chips. Are you 40 or over? If you're 40 or over, you have an excuse for not knowing. If you're 40, I would say if you're 35 and over, you have an excuse for not knowing. If you're 35 and under, you need to know what a glizzy is. Yeah, of course, Bryce. And we're going to get way more active in the Discord starting literally Sunday. We're going to do merch giveaways. Again, we're going to do meetings and all sorts of stuff. It's going to be... I'm 36. Yes, I said, that's why I moved. I was like, no, 35 and up has an excuse. You have an excuse for not knowing. It's what the kids call it. They're like, I want to go to the baseball game and get a glizzy. It's what they call a hot dog. It's because they think it sounds cool. So this is basically just saying world championship hot dog eater, whatever. It just sounds funny because it's world champion glizzy guzzler. Yeah, 42 and I had no clue. Yep, makes sense. Because listen, I'm 31. I'll just say it, okay? And I'm on like the edge of that. Like it took me a while. Like I when I was getting out of high school and kids were like glizzies. And in college, like I was really on the edge of that. Anyways, yeah, here we go. Okay, this isn't just like a GFS thing. Here we go with the Euro. Here come these temps, and boom! Look at that widespread 20 degrees below average. Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Arkansas, Northern Texas, Louisiana. Everyone's getting involved in this cold. We can push out towards the mid-Atlantic. It'll be a little bit later for the mid-Atlantic, but you'll see some of this cold air, at least for a couple days, getting out there. Maybe the 7th, maybe the 6th, maybe the 7th. Southeast gets pretty involved with this cold air too. You can see here, look at all this cool air. This isn't cold air because it's still early this is gonna be early fall, but it's cooler air. It is. At least you won't be sitting in record heat down there in the southeast anymore. A little nice cool off for a while. Teleconnection wise, pretty crazy. Our PNA stays positive. Again, no signs that the East is going to enter any sort of heat wave again anytime soon. I do think the second half of September will be warmer for the East. First half of September, for sure, it's going to be colder for most people out East. Second half, you usually don't have a ridge holding that far long out West. So the second half of September probably going to warm up a little bit for the East. But let's go to our weeklies. Oh my gosh, look at the PNA on the weeklies. I mean, this has neutral PNA can be warm average temperatures out East, but this doesn't even see a dip in the PNA until October 4th. I mean, this right here would signal not a freezing Central Plains and out East, but average to below average for most of September. This is a weeklies. It's not going to be perfect. So we don't know if that's actually going to happen, but it's another, there's just very little signs of any sort of major heat returning to the East for a little bit here at least. GFS extended. PNA GFS extended doesn't see anything Doesn't really see a big heat wave entering the east or central plains out east until maybe at least the third week, end of the second week, going into the third week of September, where this would probably signal a lot of heat out east. Same here. Yeah, so, yeah. Cool weather's coming in. It's going to be there to stay for a little bit. Houston Storm Tracker, what's going on? What's cracking? Brandon, what's up? What is up? Yeah, we're gonna be starting. We're gonna be starting some like merch giveaways and stuff again in the Discord, and then we'll be having some meetings. I'm gonna be starting to put out some training videos in the Discord for anyone to watch for free. I'm just gonna, I want to go over quick. I'm gonna do like the videos. They're gonna be like a minute long, and they're gonna give you because there's so much BS information you don't need to learn in meteorology if you're just like a weather enthusiast. Like quick you can learn about teleconnections in a minute. You can learn about soundings in 2 to 3 minutes, like how to read a sounding, the bait, so just so you at least know what the sounding's telling you. There's all these things. You can learn about your ENSOs. You can learn about the MJO in a minute, 60-second video. The basics of it. If you want to dive in and learn about all the complicated stuff, then just watch a lecture on YouTube. But I want all the videos I post on my Discord just to be like quick and like, oh, okay, I get it. That makes sense. So you can like look at a sounding, you can look at a teleconnection, you can look at an MJF forecast or whatever and be like, oh, more rainfall probably here at this time of the year, or more, or probably cooler temperatures are coming out east, or probably, stuff like that. Let's see. First, I have no clue. Yeah. Every Sunday now I'm going to do 8 to 10 minute plus video on YouTube too. And I'm just going to do a 7-day forecast. What's happening what's expected to happen over the next 7 days. And then, the other 6 days I'll do my shorts again, but whatever. Want to at least do one long format. Big game on right now. How's the game going? Anyone score yet? Texas, Ohio State? Ohio State did. No surprise. Almost overtime? Or it is overtime? Halftime, yeah. Overtime, sorry, halftime. I don't know what I'm saying. I think Ohio State's winning, yeah. I mean, it's if it was at Texas, I'd still pick Ohio State, but not by a lot. But at Ohio State, yeah. There also may be a disturbance in the East Atlantic. Yeah, there is. There's something out there. It's not too big of a threat right now, though. I mean, here, let's take a look at it. Here we go. Let's do this. So let's go out to the Atlantic wide. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, here, let me zoom this out a little bit. Actually, there we go. I'll just do that like that. Can anyone see where the disturbance is? This is our 30% watch area from the National Hurricane Center. Can anyone see where our low pressure is? What's going on, Matt? Bezzo! It's almost impossible to even see where the spin is. To me, it looks like it's right here. But yeah, there's no convection out here, so there's nothing really too crazy going on. We could probably actually see if there's some Saharan dust coming off the African coast on here. I mean, I came in town this weekend, so I'm off till Monday. My stepdad's in town, actually. Let's see. Wait, man, I'm gonna call you in a second. You see this? There it is. You see all the sand? You see all the sand? See all that sand? Here's our potential low. And here's the sand that's just funneling into it. Once it pushes off farther to the west, it'll get itself together. Oh wait, Matt, I'm gonna give you a call real quick. Oh, Matt, did you see my new hat? Rate the hat. 1 to 10. Rate the hat 1 to 10. Yes. All right. Do you? No. Well, again, you would think our week La Nina is ahead of schedule. I mean, we're gonna be in a moderate, like, you have to obviously have the waters 1 degree Celsius below average out there for 3 months for it to count, for you to transition. But we're gonna be under 1 degree Celsius below average of Nino 3.4 or 3.4 in like a week. So again, it is, and it's already starting to look like that. I mean, you're already starting to see like openings in here, and again, I don't know, dude. This season is actually perplexing me even more than last season's slow start. Yeah. It's gonna end up being like last year. I remember there being more activity last year, though, that the storms weren't like, we weren't getting landfalls, stuff was going out into the ocean, but there's been points here where we're going into peak hurricane season in a couple weeks where there's nothing on the map in the Atlantic for long stretches of time. Yeah, well, Helene was end of September, and then Milton was October. It's the other way around. Yeah. 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 Coco, KJ, I appreciate you guys. I know your temperatures, you're gonna see 15 to 20 degrees below average here soon. On the European weeklies, PNA teleconnection, it doesn't bring the PNA negative until October 4th. meaning like the European weeklies thinks we could have consistent ridging out west until October 4th. We'll see if I think second half of September is going to warm up out east, but just the fact that the European weeklies is showing that is hilarious. Yeah, dude, our feels like low where I live, Chad, I'm in Minneapolis Metro, is 36 degrees next Thursday. I know. I was like, holy crap. But that's early September in Kentucky. If you do even feels like it down into the 40s, that's wild. Yeah, it's going to mess up some people's crops. Hey, how's it going, man? Oh, nice. From where? Oh, that's right. Duh, I know that. Yeah, Matt talks about it a lot. All right, I'm going to finish off my stream. I'll probably do another one later. But have fun. See you later. Peace. All right, chat. You heard Matt. Still could be on pace for last year's hurricane season. Guys, listen. I said it last year. I'll say it again. This is one of those years. If you're in a going into this kind of weak La Nina, moderate La Nina, a negative ENSO neutral, you're expected to have more tropical activity, especially when you have above average water temperatures. The Atlantic, Caribbean, and the Gulf aren't at record heat, but they're like third all time. So I'm going to say it just like I said last year. This is just a little bit of luck. We're getting a little bit of luck. There's a little bit of Saharan desert, a little bit of African dust that's been pushed out here, which is helping. We had a lot of wind shear out here in the Eastern Caribbean for like no reason. Well, there's a reason for it, but a little bit of excess shear out here for a while, which helped. Our Bermuda high shifted a little bit farther off to the northeast, which is what took that Cat 5 hurricane and didn't slam it into the coast. So, but I always say eventually you run out of luck, but hopefully not. I mean, last year we ran out of luck, and it was quiet all season, and then boom, you get two Cat 5s. Not they didn't make landfall as Cat 5s, but you get Milton and Helene back to back, basically really close to each other, and we know what ended up happening with Helene. So let's hope it just stays dormant for as long as possible. But it's hard to imagine that we were not going to get at least 1 or 2 landfalling systems in this type of ENSO cycle. But hey, we'll see. What is forecast for the Gulf the first week of September? I think it's going to be pretty quiet. We can take a look at the GFS. Oh, I think WeatherWise added models onto here. Does anyone know how to access it? WeatherWise keeps updating like every day. I'm pretty sure they added models. Does anyone know how to access that? Hold up. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe they didn't. I swear I saw that they added models. I can just pull up Radar Omega, but or Pivotal Weather. What's going on, Dan? What is going on? I swear I saw something that said they added models. Like, not like supermodels, you know what I mean? Like weather models. I don't know how to access them, though. I'll have to figure it out. I'll just use good old Radar Omega for this real quick. Well, I'll use Pivotal Weather. Let's take a look here. I like the GFS for the subtropics. Entering. Weather's on the 12th. I don't want a hurricane. I think it'll be good if it's on the 12th. Entering early September. Gulf looks a little busy. Nothing too crazy is moving through there. You do have a high settling in. It looks like down near the southeast, which makes sense. That big upper level low to the north. High settling in down into the Gulf, potentially around the 5th, 6th, 7th of September. So it'll be a little stormy down there along the Gulf states to kick off September, but there's no sort of like tropical activity or anything like that. Now, the GFS does have snow falling in Wisconsin, in northern Wisconsin and northern Minnesota in like 6 days. That'd be an early season snowfall. That is a big upper level low. I mean, I could see it happening. And then it has a little Colorado snow at the end of the run. Let's take a look at the Euro. Let's take a look at the Euro. Yeah, Euro has a little bit of activity down there in the Gulf. Florida is getting soaked to kick off September. Look at this big upper level low. Churning up here to the north. 996. All right, let's see. That could be some severe weather right there. We're going to have to see what happens here around September 7th, September 8th. That looks like potential severe weather, but it's hard to tell on a future radar like this. I'd want to go into, obviously, short range or NAM reflectivity. Mid-range NAM. Look at this, too. If this happens out here, that could be a severe threat as well. Getting into September 4th, 5th. That makes sense because there's a lot of cold air pushing out east September 5th, 6th, and 7th out towards the mid-Atlantic and New England. I think, everyone in here's seen this, but our temp anomalies here coming up. This is to basically right as we get into fall. Look at this. We're going to be seeing potential record cold out east, potential record highs out west. The Euro has heat replacing it real quick and then another push of cold air, but the GFS just has that cold air sticking around. I hope it snows New York City for Christmas. That'd be cool. I'm done with severe weather. I want winter. Well, remember, Claire, there is a fall tornado season. It is nowhere near as active typically as spring tornado season, but there is fall tornado season. So, September, October, November. End of September, October, November. Yeah, we'll see if we do get a little snow on the ground in northern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin. It's possible. It's possible as this thing pushes in. This is where our upper level low is going to be. Tons of cold air injection here. There'll be lots of moisture in the air from the heat that's been down here. Out ahead of it. Not a ton, but warm enough. So, possible. I know. Yeah. I'm ready for snow. This is by far the coldest place I've ever lived, so I'm excited. I grew up in Florida. I like cold weather. Well, we'll see if I like it after this winter. After experiencing a Minnesota winter. Chat, what do you think? You think I'll... Wait, let's do a poll. There's only 23 people in here, but I'm doing a poll. These day streams are slow. All right, quick poll. Oh, wait. Let's see. Will I still like winter after experiencing a Minnesota winter? Wait. We'll just do this. There we go. Under review. All right, never mind. I can't do it, guys. All right. Cry if you think I'm going to hate winter after a Minnesota winter, and smile if you think I'm actually going to, or do the smile emoji. You see, I just started. If you think I'll still like winter after Minnesota winter. I don't know, guys. I've heard some stories. Yeah, I think I'm still going to like it. Everyone here is like, oh yeah, you think you like winter and you live in Minnesota winter. I lived in the swamp for like the majority of my life. Like, there's no way one winter is gonna scare me away. Absolutely not. Sebastian, I appreciate the follow. Thank you. Do I see any severe storms with this cold front coming south? It's possible. I mean, you know, there's not really much on, you know, categorical wise. Let's take, we can look at probabilistic. I think we'll get something through the plains probably, and then something out here. I think we'll probably get a slight through here and a slight somewhere out here. First week of September. At least a slight, yeah. See you, Claire.
A new special marine warning has been issued.
I'll be back on later today. Yeah, this is just a quick update stream. Some nice rainfall moving. Yeah, gonna be moving through Omaha soon. Dallas should be clearing up here in a little bit. South Florida still feeling it. Marine warning. Storms for Chicago before cold front this week. Well, here, let's take it. I don't have my special marine warnings turned on, I don't think. Actually, because I have so many things cloud up. You know, there's just so much going on the screen. I actually think I have my special marine warnings turned off. Yeah, they're off. I'll have to deal with that later. Here, let's just take a look at our rainfall here. Multi-day rainfall. Here's 48-hour rainfall forecast. Obviously, Plains, Texas is winning. Look at our 5-day rainfall forecast. Florida, tons of rainfall over the next 5 days. We're going to see some more, I think, rainfall moving to the southwest as we get into next week, which is going to cause some potential flooding issues. It's kind of monsoon season down there in the southwest. Honestly, not too much rainfall across the states over the next 5 days. It's mostly Texas and the Plains. Wisconsin gets a little bit involved, but this green and dark blue is like literally a 1/10 of an inch to a 1/2 inch of rain. It's not really getting to a lot of rainfall until you see these reds, purples. Oh, in this green, your live set special rain. Oh, yeah. Because I'm getting updates from the NWS. I'm getting updates from NWS, yeah. But I don't actually show them on, like, special marine warnings usually aren't. There's usually not people looking for them. I'm guessing the special marine warning is probably off this coast. Sometimes it's just lakes though. Sometimes it's actually in the interior. I didn't see what it said though. Oh, special marine warning right there. Coastal water from Deerfield Beach. Oh, yeah. So okay, so the special marine warning's down here. Deerfield Beach is right here. That's the beach I went to like every day growing up because I grew up right in here. Oh yeah, Chicago gets severe weather. I forgot about that. I don't think so. We can go take a quick look at our NAM. Let's take a look at our NAM 12K. Let's see if Chicago's gonna get any severe weather. If we see anything. Here, if you do get any severe weather, it's gonna be with this front. Not before it. There's a high stationed out here. Actually, you can see this. This is our high pressure right here. So probably nothing before that front moves through. Maybe a little bit of severe weather with the front. The Pacific is almost always a little bit more active than the Atlantic, actually. Not always, but it's a larger body of water. There's a lot more room for storms to form, and what happens a lot in the Atlantic, in our main development region, the MDR, is, we were talking about this earlier. You get this issue. You get this Saharan dust issue. So here, this dries up a lot of storms. You don't really have that as much off the Pacific. You don't have these big sandstorms pushing out into the ocean here. So these storms there's just a lot more moisture to work with here. So you typically get more activity in the Pacific. Not by like a ton, but by a little bit, yeah. How does southwestern Colorado's... listen, if we do enter in a weak La Nina and stay in a weak La Nina, you would expect temperatures in southwestern Colorado this winter. I'm talking December, January, February to probably average below average. I would expect a below average temperature-wise southwestern Colorado. Precipitation's weird. It's going to be a hit or miss for you guys. I would say average precip. And below average temperatures expected this winter in southwestern Colorado. If we enter a weak La Nina, that's the trend in that region. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'd say it's 6 to 7 out of 10 chance for at least I would say 7 out of 10 for below average temps. The precipitation's kind of hit or miss with a weak La Nina out there. Is Minnesota done with rain? I feel like it's been a while. We've got a lot of clouds over us right now. It was actually the other day. These are moving out east. There's a little bit of a surface low right here, so. Again, if we go into our outlooks, let's go back to multi-day. Over the next 72 hours, we're barely experiencing any rainfall out here. We're maybe 1/10 of an inch. Even if we let's push out all the way to 7 days. Not that much rainfall in Minnesota. You could see maybe we get it close to an inch in and around Minneapolis, but 5 days is probably there's not much rainfall in Minnesota. A little bit. I feel like mid-October, we would get above moderate La Nina. Jazzy, what's going on? Well, listen, right now, we are, listen, once you get below 1 degree Celsius, once you hit 1 degree Celsius or below in our Nino 3-4 region, you're in a moderate La Nina. But you need to stay below -1 degree Celsius for at least 3 months for you to actually consider, for it to be considered a transition into it. So we're going to be in very shortly, within probably a week, where those water temperatures are going to be in sorry, are gonna, those water temperatures are actually gonna be in moderate La Nina territory. But I don't know if they're gonna keep falling. There's a possibility we end up in a moderate La Nina. I was talking about that in my video today. There's a possibility we end up in a moderate La Nina by December. If this thing continues to fall. And look at, I still think we're gonna stay weak, but look at the ocean temperatures right now. Look at this. This is cold. I mean, for this region, this is well below average. So there's still a possibility we end up in a moderate La Nina. If we end up in a moderate La Nina, my winter forecast is actually not actually my it's actually would actually still be quite relevant, because I did say mild and dry for most of the South. But if we were in a moderate La Nina, I said the Pacific Northwest, I expect it to be a little bit warmer and drier than normal this year. The Pacific Northwest, if we entered a moderate La Nina, I think would be cold and wet. I'd have to change that. We were in a neutral over winter. We were expected to be in a La Nina, but we were not. We were expected to be. We were expected to be weak, and we were not. So weak and moderate La Nina just means, okay, I'll give you the 20-second crash course. When these waters are above average, our jet stream that controls a lot of the weather, where the weather enters the U.S., how hot and cold our temperatures are, when these waters are above average here along the Pacific, equatorial Pacific, our jet stream tends to hold farther to the south. And when it does that, that's called an El Nino. And during an El Nino, you typically actually see cooler and wetter temperatures in the southern U.S. So you have a better chance for snow in the southern U.S., cooler temperatures, and a little bit warmer and drier up north. But when the water temperatures get colder, which they're getting right now, the jet stream can't hold on to the south, and the jet stream floats up to the north, kind of like this. This is when you get colder and wetter temperatures to the north, and then the south typically remains drier and warmer. You could still get snow and have very cold temperatures in the south in a La Nina, but just the historical average is it's typically drier and a little bit warmer in the south during La Nina. So this is clearly, look at all these blues represent below average temperatures. Look at all the blues across the equatorial Pacific here, specifically in our Nino 3 and 4 region, which is here. We call our Nino 3.4, but it's just our Nino 3 and 4 region, 3 and 4, or 3 and 4, yeah. So all we're doing when we're talking about El Nino and La Nina is saying how warm or how cold are these waters, because that's going to affect if our jet stream is farther to the north this is a quick version. If our jet stream is farther to the north or farther to the south, which has a huge effect on our winter, especially our winter. It doesn't really affect our summers and falls, spring, much, especially our winter, because the northern hemisphere's the Arctic is the coldest place on the planet. The Arctic has way more drastic and colder temperatures than the Antarctic. The northern hemisphere's winters are very, very variable and crazy. And the positioning of our jet stream over our winter, whether it's up there or down here, is going to change where most of that cold air and most of that moisture is. The other thing that really affects it too is the MJO, the Madden-Julian oscillation. It's just a big, we didn't even understand. Madden-Julian oscillation wasn't even talked about until like 20 years ago. It's very new in meteorology. It's a seasonal thing. Every 2 to 3 months, a big kind of low pressure, big pocket of convection and clouds begins to form over here off the African coast, and it slowly moves over 2 to 3 months across like this. You've got like MJO phase 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7. Just imagine it's like that. And 8 out here. But once we get into 7 and 8 of the MJO, if that's timed up with our coldest time of the year, which is January or February, if we have the MJO floating over into the US, that also causes a lot more precipitation. If there's a lot more precipitation during our coldest months of the year, that's when the US can have a big snow year, big snow winter. That kind of happened last year when the South got a foot of snow. Like a foot of snow fell in like the Gulf. The MJO kind of had to do that. Anyways, it's all just climatology stuff, but it's not that complicated. The actual like big picture is pretty simple. It gets a little more complicated once you kind of dive into the fact that there's a lot more than just the El Nino 3 and 4. There's also your NPO, Northern Pacific Oscillation, and your EPO, Eastern Pacific Oscillation, and your WPO, Western Pacific Oscillation, and You have to account for the water temperatures here, which can push more moisture into the states. You have to account for the temperature of the land up here. If the land is colder up to the north, that actually allows for the cold air transfer from the Arctic much easier into the states. You have to account for, you want to see how much ice is over the Arctic. If there's a lot more ice, you typically have a colder landmass up here. We actually have above average ice right now up here. So there's tons of different things you can look at to gauge how cold we think our winter's going to be, how much snow we're going to get, and where that cold and snow is going to be. You think PNW Seattle will get snow? I said I thought this the Pacific Northwest this winter will be mild and mild temperatures, or slightly above average temperatures and slightly below average precipitation. I'm still on the fence about it. I'm really on the fence about it, especially because our Nino 3 and 4 region is cooling so quickly. If that thing really does, if we really do push into moderate before winter, my forecast for up here is going to be completely screwed. We may end up with tons of snow and cold air up there. So I'm just have to see how it develops. In about a month, probably in like late October, right before we're like getting into the winter kind of territory, I'll probably release an updated winter forecast just after I see if some things changed or not. Jazzy and Ashley, I appreciate you guys. Jasmine, I appreciate you. Watching really makes me know how much I don't know still with meteorology. Yeah, but you know, you learn as you go, Tufts. Just learn as you go. The best thing to do when you're learning about something, especially this, is, you know, anytime you have a question about something, just pull up YouTube and look it up. There's college lectures, meteorology lectures on literally everything. There's AI. Anytime you have a question, just look it up. I would say climatology, though, is specifically for me, climatology is my favorite thing. I love talking about climatology, ENSO cycles, and MJO, and you know the differences between our northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, eastern hemisphere, western hemisphere. I love climatology. Yeah, MJO is but the MJO, most meteorologists don't know anything about the MJO. The MJO is such a new thing. Like in the big, like I said, like the MJO was like quote unquote discovered in like the mid 90s or something. And then they really started applying it to outlooks in like the 2010s, like seriously applying it. So it's a pretty new thing overall. Yeah, you're gonna like a year's gonna fly by and you're gonna be like, holy crap, where did I get all this knowledge from? Does a La Nina mean you get more snow? A La Nina, it depends. Weak La Ninas tend to favor snow, I would say, through this region. Kind of this region, and then sometimes this region. I'm talking about above average, and then average kind of everywhere else. Strong or moderate to strong La Ninas really like snow up here. You can get some really good snow up here. Again, in a moderate to strong La Nina. El Ninos do favor more of a southern snow. It doesn't mean you don't get snow up here. The problem is, though, with the problem is this area is weird. Okay, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, this area right here, the farther you are away from the ocean, land cools and heats much quicker. Last year, Minnesota didn't get a lot of snow because it was literally too cold. There was a long stretch in the beginning of winter where Minnesota was so below average that if it's too cold, you actually like kind of a little bit of an above average temperature winter if you're hoping for more precipitation. And Minnesota was and the Dakotas were on such a cold streak in the beginning of last winter that they just weren't having any sort of lift. They weren't getting any sort of, you need a little, you need something to pull that moisture up. It's like in Siberia. Sorry, my kids are screaming. It's like in places like Siberia where sometimes it doesn't snow all winter because it's literally so cold that there's nothing. It's called a cold core high, where it gets so cold that a high pressure sets up over a region. It is so cold that a low pressure literally can't survive that region. It's cold core high. You have an upper level high, and then you can get a cold core high. And the Dakotas and Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, Montana, really the Dakotas and Minnesota really can get those cold core highs where it's so cold you actually don't get snow. Yeah, we're highly likely going to be in a La Nina this winter. Is it going to be weak or moderate? And how quickly do we transition back into ENSO neutral? Because I do think next winter we'll probably be pushing towards an El Nino. Yeah, well, okay, scientists said that it could snow in Texas like 2021 freeze. If anything, I'd expect Texas, especially this portion of Texas. I'm not expecting southeastern, especially this portion of Texas. If we sit in a weak La Nina, you could have you could get a couple major Arctic blasts, big freezes. Yeah. 2021 was a weak La Nina, or what was 2021? 2021. Was that 2020 into 2021, or was that 2021 into 2022? Trying to remember that big freeze. Do you remember that? 2021 February. Okay, so it was 2020 2021 winter. Okay. 2021 2020. Okay, so okay, let me look at that real quick. What were we in? What were we in? I should be able to look that up here. Yeah, I can look that up here. Give me a second. Come on, just show me my climate analogs. Here. La Nina. What? I have this saved. Not ENSO forecast. Give me 1 second, guys. I have this saved. I have this bookmarked and I don't know where it is. Oh, here we go. This should be it. Wow, why is this so... Oh my god, this goes way back. What the heck? 1 second, guys. I always pull it up right away. Okay. And now I'm not. This is bothering the crap out of me, actually. Let's see here. Oh, you know what I can do? I know what I can do. I know it's easy to pull up, but I'm trying to actually find a specific page. We can actually just go into the PDF ENSO forecast, but I wanted to show you something else. I can just go like this. I should be able to. Let's see. I should be able to pull it up in here. Nope, not that. Sorry. Yeah, it'll probably show me a summary in here. 2020 to 2021, we were in a moderate to weak. Yeah, we were in a. So this would be okay. So this would be we transition into a weak La Nina, and then right here, 1, 2, 3, we enter a moderate La Nina for a brief period of time back into a weak. So it was a week. It was. Okay, let's look at this though. Actually, sorry. Let's look at this. It was on the border of a weak to a moderate La Nina. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm looking at. There you go. It was on a border to wait, why is it still not showing? I'll do this. We were borderline weak to moderate La Nina. So yes, 2021. This is wow. Actually, whoever said that scientist said Texas could see a freeze like 2021. This is extremely similar. This is our winter as of right now. Our winter outlook is extremely similar to 2021, where that Texas got that huge freeze, because we are entering weak La Nina, but our Nino 3-4 region, our ENSO is about it's going to be in moderate La Nina territory here in like a week, but you have to be in that moderate La Nina for 3 months for it to confirm. This is almost identical. This is like very, very similar. This is very, very similar. We're coming out of an ENSO neutral, though. They were in a La Nina for a while, but this is very similar. Entering this winter will be very similar to that 2020-2021 season. That doesn't mean Texas is going to get a huge freeze, but we have similar. Looks like we're going to have similar climate conditions going into this winter as that 2021 season. 2020-2021 season. Yeah, it does. I mean, I watch other weather creators too. You said you Googled it and we're in La Nina here in Texas. No, we're in an ENSO neutral right now. It doesn't go by state. It doesn't go by state. It goes by its region. It's the entire U.S. is in an ENSO neutral right now. But the waters are in La Nina territory. We are transitioning into a La Nina, but it's not a La Nina yet. We will be in a La Nina very soon, though. Oh, for 2021? Yeah, correct, yeah. 2021, yes, was La Nina, yeah. There are similarities to this winter in 2013 and 2014, yeah. I talked about that in my winter forecast as well. There are similarities to that winter. 2013, 2014 was ENSO neutral, but it was a cold. It was a below average ENSO neutral, so we were borderline weak La Nina that year. So there's some similarities to 2013, 2014 season as well. I would say it's more similar to the 2020-21 season. Another one that's very similar, 2017 into 2018, if you're just looking at ENSO 3-4. There's a lot of other things to look at, though. Guys, I have family in town. Football's on. I'm also going to be streaming again later, so I'm going to hop off, but I will be back on later. I did post a video with all the updates. I'm going to be posting a big, long video tomorrow, 8 to 10 minutes probably, going over the whole week. And a lot more fall, winter stuff. So, but I appreciate everyone in here. I appreciate anyone who followed. Gifted mods for helping. Like I said, I will be back on later. If you want to join the Discord, I'm in there updating stuff all the time. That's where we give away like merch giveaways and all sorts of stuff that we're starting up again. Just add me on Discord. Connor's Climate Corner. It's literally my name. Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Add me as a friend on Discord and I'll add you to the Discord. Make you part of the climate crew and you can see all the updates when I'm getting on live and all that good stuff. But you guys are awesome. I'll be on a little bit later. I'll put in the Discord when I'm hopping on later. All right. Yeah, have a good day. Yeah, have a good day. Jazzy, see you later, Tufts. Like I said, I'll be back on a little bit later. See ya.